Download this code and get free GPT-4o from codegive.com, link in the description below. Sure. Angular project documentation with compodoc tutorial. Compodoc is a documentation tool for Angular projects that generates beautiful and informative documentation for your project. It helps in documenting your components, services, modules, and more in a structured way. Step 1. Install compodoc. First, you need to install compodoc globally by running the following command in your terminal. Step 2. Generate documentation. Navigate to your Angular project directory and run the following command to generate documentation. This command will analyze your Angular project and generate documentation in the documentation folder. You can customize the output directory and other options as needed. Step 3. View documentation. Once the documentation is generated, you can open the index.html file in the documentation folder in your browser to view the documentation. You will see information about your components, modules, services, directives, and more. Step 4. Customizing documentation. You can customize the documentation by adding JS comments to your Angular components, services, and other files. Compodoc will pick up these comments and include them in the documentation. Here is an example of adding JS comments to an Angular component. Step 5. Updating documentation. Whenever you make changes to your Angular project, you can update the documentation by running the compodoc command again. This will analyze the changes and update the documentation accordingly. That's it. You now have a detailed and well-documented Angular project using compodoc. It's a great tool to maintain and share documentation with your team members and stakeholders.